All right, so now that we know the situation with the pseudo Golden Week, the alternate Golden Week, Goku Day Dual Dokkan Festival, what exactly is going to be happening with the banner situation? This is me speculating on what the banners are going to look like before the data download comes in. We could get a data download today. We could get the data download tomorrow. And even when we do, it's not necessarily always a thing where we're going to get like the banner graphics. But regardless, we might as well talk about it, because right now the conversation I'm sure people are having is it even worth summoning? And the answer, this is not a should you or should you not summon video, but I will include it here just to once again remind people of where I stand. This is an easy skip. And this is coming from a Realm of Gods fanboy. I am very happy with what Realm of Gods has gained so far. And, you know, Namek celebration aside, and, you know, my gripes with what they're doing aside, I am happy that Realm of Gods is getting better. You don't necessarily need to have these characters as your main leads in order to benefit from the quantum surge in Realm of Gods development that we're getting. We've got a couple EZAs, super EZAs coming up. We probably will have more, just because for whatever reason they don't like to show all of their hand during these info dump videos. So in my opinion, there could be maybe at least one more EZA coming up during part 1. There could be stuff happening in part 2. So, and you know what, maybe if you summon on one banner and not the other one, you would still have some nice Realm of Gods options both as leads and fillers on your team. So it's not urgent where you have to get Realm of Gods. If it was like a very focused category where you had to have the specific 6, then yeah, sort of like Universe 11. Universe 11, you have to have the core 6 to have a remotely functional team. Realm of Gods, you can go in multiple directions. From where I'm standing right now, I feel like there are 2 solid versions of Realm of Gods. There's the Beerus Realm of Gods, there's the Saiyan Realm of Gods, which understatement of the year. But because of that, there's also some middle ground where you can combine the elements of each version onto a team, and you can still have a nice cohesive Realm of Gods squad. So you don't need to summon on these banners to be able to benefit from that fact. So let me just start there, because the next thing that we're going to talk about is the pity situation. So both characters are confirmed to be pities, but they're the condensed or not condensed, but they're the premium pities. That's what I call it. The premium pity is basically an altered version of the regular pity. For those of you who don't know, regular pity is something that they implemented last year to give players the illusion of getting what they wanted, but with a twist. They made it so that you can buy the new character for a certain amount of coins, that being 200, but the cost is you would have to summon enough to earn enough coins to buy them with those coins. They added a few extra characters onto the banner to make it so that it's not necessarily easier to get these characters organically, thus making it more likely that you would have to go the distance to buy the character with your pity. That's why on banners like the Vegeta banner, you've got all of this extra filler to make it harder to get this unit. But then they also added a new version of it, which is the premium pity, where they kept it on the same formatting, where it's 7 featured SSRs, with the new character being more likely to obtain. However, the trade-off is you would have to spend a little bit more, you would have to summon a little bit more to buy the character through pity. 300 coins versus 200 coins. That's what they're doing here. So for what we can tell, based on that fact, these 2 banners are both going to have 7 featured characters each, which again is pretty standard for a Golden Week banner. So as far as I'm concerned, this is still Golden Week. It's just not called Golden Week, but this is basically still a Golden Week banner. So with that said, we are going to be going through and we're going to basically be replacing these with their corresponding alternates. There's obviously, you know, it could all be different at the end of the day, but this is just my prediction based on these facts. So we're going to go ahead and just do our best to try to map it out. And I know that some people, I don't know, you know what? Let me know in the comments. Are you more happy about the fact that these guys are 300 coin pities, or would you rather it be 200 coin pities? Because like if you were to just summon on one of the 2 banners, you would have to summon far less to get a guaranteed copy of the unit. But now that you'd have to spend 300 for each one in order to get 1 copy of each through pity, you would have to you'd have to get 600 coins. That's a lot. That's probably worse for a dual Dokkan festival. I'm a whale, so I don't know. So you guys let me know. Anyway, looking at last year's Golden Week, here they are. We've got the new unit. We've got the headliner. So 2025 Golden Week, 2025 Golden Week banner unit, 2025 New Year's Dual Dokkan Festival, 2024's Golden Week, 2024's New Year's Dual Dokkan Festival, 2023's Golden Week, and extra. And same goes for this side. New unit, headliner, New Year's banner, Golden Week from the previous year, New Year's from the previous year, Golden Week from 2 years ago, and extra. Now, in terms of the extra, we'll come back to that, but there is some level of correlation between this character and the banner itself, like the headliner, but also the part 2. There could be some ties to part 2, so we'll get to that. But let's just go ahead and just do a 1-to-1 replacement of these, and let's also discuss the banner unit. So as far as all of this, we basically shifted all down one. So now the 23rd World Tournament Goku and Piccolo, by this logic, would be bumped off the list, and the last one on the food chain would be this guy. So headliner would be God Goku, banner unit. Then we would have Gohan Gamma. That would be the newest one, right? Let's take a look. Yeah, Gohan Gamma and Gamma Piccolo. And then we would just go back to Blue Kaioken. Okay, so no, you know what? It would be bumped down by 2. Yeah, because this guy would be right here. So Gohan Gamma, Blue Kaioken Goku, then it would be Glorio, and then it would be Fat Buu. And same goes for this side. It'd be Beerus, banner unit. We get Gamma 2 Piccolo. Then we get, how was it? Oh, Hit. And then we get Super Saiyan Goku, and then we get Super Saiyan 3 Goku. They might mix it up and they might put all the Gokus on the God Goku banner or whatever, but that's probably what it's going to look like. Banner units. I don't know. I mean, there's really not too many options. So when I say I don't know, I just mean like, besides the obvious answers, I don't know if there's much room to do anything different. I did say on my live stream, it'd be kind of cool to make one of the 2 banner units King Kai. King Kai is a Realm of Gods character. He's a Kai. So I think that would be a nice and appropriate way to bring in a new character. We've had, random units that have never been given a summonable version before with some recent releases, right? We've had Yakon. Yakon was never summonable before this. We had Pui Pui. We've had Grand Supreme Kai. Was it from this dude's celebration? I think it was actually from Buhan's celebration. We had Grand Supreme Kai as the banner. You know what? Let me check. I don't remember, and I genuinely want to know. So this guy came out November 28th, 2024, and that was by the point that we were lined up. November 28th. Yeah, it's the same celebration. Yeah. This guy does not fit this dude's leader skill. Oh my god. Power absorption, transformation boost, artificial life forms, uncontrollable power. Right? This guy doesn't fit that. So that was going to be my other point. When trying to map out this, and when we're trying to figure out the banner unit, we could consider that it just correlates with the new character, or it could just have nothing to do with it. And so for Battle of Gods, there's not a whole lot of wiggle room in terms of like Realm of Gods type characters, which is why I think King Kai would be good. Whis is an obvious guess. I mean, there's just so many Whis already, and they're all useless. They're just all useless. I don't want another Whis. Not to say that this Whis would also be useless, but it's just like, we've already got enough. Let's get different characters. So I just don't really know who else it could be. Maybe a King Vegeta flashback, or a Tien or a drunk Hercule. I don't know. So besides the obvious ones, comment down below what could be some random dark horse pick for a banner unit. But I'm gonna go ahead and say King Kai and Whis for the sake of this video, and then we can map out the rest like we did, and then it just boils down to this last one. So here we go. And yeah, I am just gonna leave this in my notes that Golden Week was basically this. So here it is. Oh yeah. I still left all my notes here. I'm gonna keep these. These are gonna be fun little relics to come back to whenever I want to, remind myself of how bad I am. Yeah, man, this would have been great, wouldn't it? God, what is wrong with you people? All right, so here's the banner: God Goku, King Kai, Gohan Gamma, Blue Kaioken, Super Saiyan. Oh yeah, I did adjust it, and Super Saiyan 3 Goku. And then what will we put for the final piece? So let's consider this. Last year for Golden Week, AGL Blue Kaioken Goku received a Super EZA during the part 1 of the Golden Week celebration. On this other banner, Tech KFC received an EZA during part 2 of the Golden Week celebration. Right? Yes, the 19th. The 19th is around the time that LRKFC came out. Yes, 5 days before. So, and this also corresponds to the part 1 Dokkan Festival lead. So that also works. So there is a bit of connective tissue both between part 1 and part 2. So if we were to just one-to-one map this out, we could try to chart what this potential easy or super easy could be. Considering we already have a super easy coming up, I would feel more inclined to think that this is going to be an easy A, which leads me to what I'm sure a lot of people are probably thinking, God Goku. I think physical God Goku would be a logical unit to place in that slot. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. But considering the Majin Vegeta from the preceding Saiyan Day celebration just got his easy A very recently, I don't know if that is going to be a reason why he doesn't get an upgrade, but this probably makes the most sense. Besides that, because I mean, not only does he make sense for an easy A, but he corresponds directly to not only this guy, but also the Beerus. Who would the part 2 be? Whoever the part 2 is could have something to do with what this unit's slot could be. So going down here, we got Beerus, we got Whis, I don't know, throw in whoever you want. And you got Gamma Piccolo, you got Hit, you got Daima, you got Fat Boo. Who would the last piece be? I got nothing. I got nothing. Best I can do, here are the leader skill combinations for God Goku. We got Power Wishes, Miraculous Awakening, Realm of Gods, all of these. These are all of the full matches. Are there any characters here that could potentially either get an easy A or a super easy A? Do we want to think they could give us multiple super easy A's? It's been a while since we've had our last super easy A, so does that mean that they're going to overcompensate and give us multiple? I don't know. Just eyeballing this, none of these guys. This, you know what would have been nice? If this guy got a super easy A here, but actually he is going to get a lot better with this celebration. And I'm actually looking forward to running this guy. Who could we get? Again, this guy fits. Oh my God. Okay. AGL Kale? No. I mean, she's not going to be featured on both banners, but, you know, her being on the last banner is kind of funny. Oh, wait, we're looking at the Goku side. Let's look at the Beerus side. Maybe this... God, no, it's a little too soon. This might be a little too soon. Maybe this one. This idiot. Let's see. Maybe a Champa? What? You know what? What if they just... Let's just break protocol. What if they put Champa on the banner? Actually, that would make a lot of sense. Either this Champa... Man, you know what? I think it is going to be Champa. I think a Champa is going to be featured on the banner. Because Champa is the biggest beneficiary of this guy's team support. Or Champa support. I think one Champa will be on the banner. If they can make it this one, that would be awesome. My guess is they won't. They'll put the physical one. So I'm gonna go ahead and just do that. Let me add. I'm just gonna add this Champa. His face will be sort of a placeholder for all Champas. I think this is probably my best guess. There's not a Champa that is due for an easy A or a super easy A, because this guy just came out. We just had a world tournament, which means the Int Champa is not going to be getting a Dokkan Awakening. They could do an easy A for the STR Champa. STR Champa did come out. Where is he? Is he not on this guy's leader skill? That can't be right. I'm just blind. Sorry. There he is. Maybe this guy gets an easy A. What does this guy even do? Yeah. He is part of the Universe 6 story event. Vados, AGL Vados could get an easy A free-to-play easy A. Maybe that's what they do? In terms of the easy A's. That way, just putting a random Champa would make a little bit more sense. I'm just going to leave it like this. I don't want to make this video any longer than it has to be. So these are my guesses. These are my predictions for what the banners are going to look like. We will find out soon with an incoming data download. Hopefully, if not, we will just find out when the banners come out. But yeah, overall, I mean, obviously good, new, right? This guy coming back is great. Actually, this guy dying kind of works with... Oh no, he doesn't die though. Well, whatever. Him dying will help trigger this guy's passive. So anything for me to try to cope and say Universe 7 got some good pieces. Okay. Good. Maybe good with an easy A. And then down here, good. Very, I mean, he's aged very well. He's also very useful, and he would be insane. So, not bad. Still not a must summon. Those are my guesses. So I guarantee you I will be wrong. Guys, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to like down below and in the comments your thoughts on these two banners, what they're going to look like, your thoughts on the idea of having to go 300 coins for double pity. Are you the type of person who needs one copy of each? Do you think that this is a better thing for a dual Dokkan festival or a worse thing? Let me know what you guys think about all that. Your predictions for that wild card slot on the banner. What other character could be up for an easy or super easy, or what would just make sense to throw in that last slot? Let me know your ideas in the comments down below. Also, be sure to subscribe for more Dokkan content in the future and click the notification bell so that you'll let YouTube know you want to see more myself do it. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned and always remember to Dokkan responsibly.